The Chancellor, Philip Hammond, today delivered his first and last spring budget. Aside from changes to national insurance contributions for the self-employed, this was clearly a budget for the economy rather than a budget for changes in the tax system. I personally welcome the clarity provided in relation to making tax digital. The unincorporated businesses with turnover below the VAT registration threshold will benefit from a one-year delay in implementing digital record keeping. I am Andrew Lissatiri and I have here with me two of our tax partners, Nigel May and Patrick King, to help us make sense of what the Chancellor has said. Nigel, what do you think about the proposals we have heard today?
I think this was a budget that was very thin on tax proposals, and perhaps that's not unwelcome. The principal victims, it would seem, of this budget are the self-employed and those in partnership. These individuals will have been hit already by pre-announced changes that will cost someone earning over £45,000 some £140 extra national insurance for the 17-18 tax year as compared to the previous tax year. The abolition of Class 2 national insurance and changes today will make them another £220 worse off for the next tax year, and about £380 a year worse off for the following year. There are also further changes to come. We've got very good reason to believe that the autumn budget will bring with it further legislation concerning partnership taxation, but we have no details of that at all at the moment. So not good news really for the self-employed or partners.
Thank you. Patrick, what are your thoughts on what we have heard?
Well, we always sit here as tax advisors on budget day and hope for something good news or at least some interesting news, and as Nigel's already alluded to, there was very little, I would say none of that today. I've got three more victims of the rule changes to announce or to talk about, and one perhaps bit of good news in that for something that didn't happen rather than something that did happen. So to start with the bad news, we have a tightening of the rules concerning property developments which were brought into charge with effect from July last year, except for contracts entered into prior to that date, when payments received after that date, which until today, would perhaps still be taxed under the old rules as capital gains or not taxed at all. The changes mean that with respect to receipts under such a contract received after today's date, if they're recognised under generally accepted accounting principles, they will be taxed as income. So there's a tightening in the rules there. There's a change in the rules with regard to individuals who have pension schemes who wish to move overseas and take their pension schemes with them. Currently, until today, they've been allowed to take those pensions with them without any charge under what's called a QROP scheme. From today, they will suffer a 25% charge on moving the fund, which is quite a significant increase in tax, obviously. The dividend tax allowance, which currently allows £5,000 of dividends to be received tax-free, is going to be reduced to £2,000 from April 2018. To look at a bit of good news perhaps, we had been anticipating a tightening in the rules concerning incorporation of residential letting businesses. There's been a lot of incorporations of residential businesses following the changes to the rules which come into effect from April this year, primarily in restricting the relief for interest on mortgages for such properties. A lot of people therefore are moving their property portfolios into corporate environments where they can still continue to get relief for interest. We had anticipated perhaps that would be tightened up or stopped. It hasn't been. So good news, we can look to continuing a growth in incorporations of property letting businesses. Other than that, sadly, there's very little to say, and certainly very little positive to say on the tax side, at least for this budget. Thank you, Nigel and Patrick. You can find a full summary of today's budget, together with further analysis and other helpful information on our website, mcintyrehudson.co.uk. Finally, we had hoped that the government would announce a delay for all businesses in implementing digital systems under the Making Tax Digital initiative. However, it is now clear that unless your business has turnover of less than £85,000, you will have to file your summary income and expenditure quarterly and through accounting software compatible with HMRC systems from April 2018. For further information and support on Making Tax Digital, please get in touch.